Om Swastiastu. Thank you for the time. My name is Putuninda Angriani. I am from 7B class. And today I will present the material about quantitative research. Quantitative research. Number 1. Experimental research. It is a method used to find the effect of certain treatments on under control conditions, where to compare the effect of a particular treatments with another's different treatments. Experiments carried out by educational research aims to test the influence of various practices, namely teaching technique, curriculum organization, contents, and teaching program on important outcomes such as student academic achievement and school climates. The variable measured to determine the effect of an experimental treatment is usually referred to as a post-test dependent variable or criterion variables. Next, about the control group contains a number of research subjects who will not receive certain treatments. Next, about the experimental group is a group containing research subjects who will then be used as subject to be given special treatments. Next, the pretest will be given before giving treatment, while the posttest will be given after giving certain treatments. Then the pretest and posttest will be compared to see whether there is an increase in result after being given treatments. Next, about random selections sample when conducting experiments. Consider other types of randomizations, namely random assessment of individual or other sampling unit to experimental treatments. Random assessments means that each sampling unit, example, student, class, school districts, has an equal chance of being in each experimental conditions. And next, about non-randoms. This means non-random sampling choose based on the subjectivity of the research. Factorial designs. Factorial experiments are experiments that determine the influence of two or more dependent variables, called factors, each singly or increasing with each other on a dependent variable. Single case designs. A single case designs experiment is an experiment that involves the intensive studies of a single individual or more than one individual treated and one's group. Single case experiments are well suited to research one behavior notifications. Number 2, research survey. Research use survey that researchers send to survey response. The data collected from the survey is then analyzed statistically to draw research conclusions. 3 main characteristics that mass survey have in common. Number 1, information is collected from a group of people in order to describe some aspect or characteristic such as ability, opinion, attitude, belief, and or knowledge of the population to which the group belongs. And next, the mind's ways of collecting information is by asking questions. Answer to these questions. And next, information is collected from a sample, not from a sample of every member of the populations. There are three basic ways to collect data in a survey: by administering the survey instruments in person to a group, by mail, by telephone, or by face-to-face interview. The main purpose of a survey is to describe the characteristics of a population. And next, about causal comparative research. Causal comparative research is the study of cause and effect relationship, just like correlation research want to identify relationship between variables. Causal comparative research seeks to determine the cause or consequence of testing difference between or among group of individuals. The basic approach to causal comparison is to start by noting the difference between two groups and look for possible cause of or consequence of those differences. There are three types of causal comparative research: effect exploration, cause explorations, and consequence explorations, which differ in their goals and structures. If an experiment takes a long time and is quite expensive to carry out, causal comparative studies are sometimes used as an alternative. As in correlational studies, relationship can be identified in causal comparative studies, but causal relationship cannot be fully determined. And number 4, non-experimental research. Described research is a type research design that aims to describe and characteristic phenomenon, situations, or topic out manipulating or changing it. This approach seeks to provide detailed and accurate accounts of what is happening rather than explaining why it is happening. And descriptive research often involves collecting data through methods such as survey, observations, contents analysis, or analysis of extensive data. Next, measurement in descriptive research. There are many types of this measurement. For example, standardized achievement classroom observation instruments, Guarnieri's tests and interviews, the longitudinal descriptions of a sample. Longitudinal studies involve observing and collecting data from the some group of individuals or entities over an extended period. There are different types of longitudinal descriptions of sample, each which it is focus and purpose. Here are some common types. Now, 1. Trend studies. These studies examine change in a particular variable or set of variables in a sample over time. The main goal is to identify trends or patterns that occur during the research. Number 2, Kahan study. In a Kahan study, researchers follow a specific group or of individual Kahan who share similar characteristics or experience, such as being born in the same year or being exposed to a certain events. The goals is to study how this group change or develop over times. And next, panel study. In a panel study, the some individual or entities are surveyed or observed at multiple points in time. This approach allows researchers to examine change within the same group and study individual trajectories. And next, cross-sectional studies. In a cross-sectional designs, data is obtained at one point in time, but from different X group or at different stage of development. Cross-sectional studies are useful for generating hypotheses, exploring the frequencies of various factors, and identifying potential areas from further investigations. However, this research is not suitable for studying causal relationship or change in variables over time, so it is better carried out to longitudinal or experimental research design. And next, about customer satisfaction surveys. Restaurants send a survey to its customer to gather feedback and describe their level of satisfaction with the food, service, and overall dining experience. And the next, about correlation design. The definition of correlation is research that refers to research whose aim is to find relationship between variables to the use of correlation statistics. Type of correlations. Number 1, positive correlations is a relationship between two variables that move in tandem or in the same directions. Number 2, negative correlations is a relationship between two variables when an increase in one variable is associated with decrease in another variable, or you could say the relationship is reverse direction between these variables. And number 3, this is no correlation. There is no correlation between the two variables, and change in one's variable do not necessarily means difference in other variables. And next, characteristics of correlation research. Number 1, non-experimental, meaning the research does not need to manipulate variables with scientific methodology to agree or disagree with the hypothesis. In this research, we only measure and observe the relationship between variables. Number 2, looking back. This research only look back at historical data and events in the past. Number 3, dynamic. This research is never constant and always change. Two variables that have negative correlations in the past can have a positive correlation in the future due to various factors. Number 4, data collection. The characteristics of correlation research is that the researchers cannot manipulate any of the variables involved. It doesn't matter how or where the variable is measured. Researchers can observe participants in a closed or public environments. Researchers use two data collection methods to collect informations in collection research. And number 5, naturalistic observation. Naturalistic observations is a way to collecting data in which people's behavior is observed in their natural environment, and when where they usually exist. And this method is a type of field research, and this could mean research may observe people in a grocery store, at a movie theater, playground, or similar place. Researchers who are usually involved in this type of data collection make observation as unobtrusive and possible, so that the participants involved in the research do not realize that they are being observed. And next, actival data. Another approach to correlation data is the use of actival data. Actival information is data that has been previously collected by conducting similar research. Actival data is usually available to primary research. In contrast to naturalistic observations, information gathered to activated data can be very simple. For example, calculating the number of people named in various American states based on social security record is quite easy. Okay, that's all about my presentations, and thank you for the time. Om Santi Santi Santi.